Folktale has it that the red moon only rises every 100 years, and when it does, the veil between the living and the dead is torn apart, and the witches of the red moon walk the earth again. No one who sees them leaves to tell the tale. They are not ordinary witches. They do not mix herbs or whisper spells under their breath. No, they drink blood, dance with shadows, and rip souls from the living. They are the daughters of Ekwensu, the trickster god of chaos, and they only come when the sky bleeds red. On the night of the last red moon, an entire village vanished. Not a single body was found, only bloodstains on the ground and walls. Tonight, the red moon rises again, and the witches are coming. Before we dive deep into the story, don't forget to like, subscribe to Dark African Stories, and hit the notification bell. In the land of Nsoko, deep in the forests of Ugbo land, the people laughed at old folk tales. They did not believe in ghosts or witches. They built their homes strong. Their warriors were fearless. Their king, Igwe Ikena, had led them through war and famine. He feared nothing, but fear was coming for him. An old man, Dibian Mukike, the village chief priest, came before the king the night before. His bones trembled. His voice cracked. He was terrified. "The red moon is rising tonight," he said. "We must prepare." King Ikena scoffed. "Old man, your stories are for children. There are no witches in these lands." The next evening, a cold wind swept through the village. The fires flickered and died. The earth trembled, and in the sky, the moon turned red. The witches of the red moon had arrived. The first scream came from the western hut, then another, then another. The warriors grabbed their spears and ran into the darkness, but what they found was not human. A woman stood in the center of the village. No, not a woman, a nightmare. Her skin was black as the void, her hair long and wild like a nest of serpents. Her eyes burned with red fire, and when she opened her mouth, it stretched far too wide, revealing rows of jagged teeth. She was Azina, the High Witch of the Red Moon. Behind her, more witches emerged from the shadows, their hands dripping with blood, their laughter echoing through the village like a funeral song. One brave warrior, Ikem, lunged at Azina with his spear, but before it could even hit her, she caught it midair. The wood rotted in her hands in a flash. Before he could even scream, she ripped out his heart with her bare fingers and devoured it. The warriors charged, but the witches were faster, stronger, unstoppable. One by one, they fell, their bodies drained of blood, their eyes wide in terror. The villagers ran, but there was nowhere to hide. The witches moved like smoke, slipping into homes, dragging screaming children into the night. Blood ran through the streets like rain. And in the palace, King Ikena finally felt fear. Debian Mukike knew this day would come. He had prepared for 100 years, waiting for the red moon to return. Deep in his hut, he took a gourd filled with black powder, his staff carved from sacred wood, and a dagger blessed by the gods. He was too old to fight, but he would die trying. Stepping outside, he saw the horrors of the night. Bodies piled on the ground, warriors flaying open, mothers crying the witches were feasting, drinking blood from the skulls of the dead. He raised his staff. "Spirits of my fathers, lend me your strength." The ground shook. The winds howled. A blast of white fire erupted from his staff, sending 3 witches screeching into the air. Their bodies burned, turning to ash. Azina turned slowly. Her lips curled into a twisted grin. "Ah, you must be the last priest of Nsoko." Her voice was like bones scraping against stone. "How delicious." She vanished. Then, suddenly, she was behind him. Her fingers dug into his back, pulling out his spine, tearing him apart before he could scream. The last hope of the village died with him, and the witches laughed. But fate is never without mercy. In the deepest part of the forest, hidden from the world, lived 2 girls, Adaze and Obianuju, twin sisters born on the last red moon. Their mother, a powerful seer, had known their destiny. Before she died, she had bathed them in sacred fire, marked their tongues with the words of the gods, and sealed their fate. They were the agilest warriors, the custodians of the forest. When the red moon returns, so shall you rise. That night, they heard the screams from the village. They saw the sky painted in blood, and they knew, it is time. Adazid took up a staff of lightning, and Obianuju donned the armor of the ancestors. They ran toward the fire. The witches were gorging themselves when the twins arrived. Izina turned, licking the blood from her fingers. Who dares disturb our feast? Adazi stepped forward. Your reign ends tonight. Izina laughed. The witches charged. The battle shook the heavens. Obianuju struck first, her blade slicing through the air like thunder, cutting down 3 witches in a single swing. Adaiz raised her staff. Lightning cracked the sky, burning the creatures where they stood. But Izina was no ordinary witch. She moved like a shadow, slipping through their attacks, her fingers clawing at their flesh. You cannot stop us, she howled. But the twins were ready. Obianuju lunged, plunging her blade into Izina's chest. Adaiz whispered the forbidden words, summoning the ancestors' fire. The flames consumed Izina, burning her from the inside out. The witches screamed as their leader died. And then, silence. The red moon faded. The village was gone, but the curse was broken. The witches would not return for another 100 years. And if they did, the twins would be waiting. They say the red moon only rises once every 100 years, and when it does, the veil between the living and the dead is torn apart. Thank you for watching. We hope you enjoyed the story. Please subscribe, like, comment, and share this video. Don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you'll be the first to know when we drop a new video. See you in the next.